got 120 on the clock. Wednesday 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every A. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. You know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
What's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday! I know it's a cold Wednesday. It's a rainy Wednesday some places. Welcome to the Casual Convo Show. We had conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you and me don't have to have the tough convo. Dang. I'm the co-host, Boscoe from the Bronx, a.k.a. Idris Salam. And I got my host, the one who put me on to the break of dawn. Coco's in the building. What up?
Hey, y'all. What's up?
What up? You good? You know what? Let's just jump into the mental health check.
There we go.
You can tell where you rolling. How you feeling?
Hi, Lisa. Part of me wants to skip the mental health check-in, but what I will say, because we be honest on the mental health check-ins, this has been a rather emotional week. So mentally, no, I'm not. I ain't all the way good. But I'm here, so it's good. I'll be all right.
As for me, I'm doing good. My eye surgery's going well. I'm living good. All's good. Let's go. Let's move right on in. Go right to the thoughts, y'all. Check it out. I may have talked about this last week. It was just so much going on last week that I don't even remember. But if I didn't, or if I did, I'm going to say today. I'll talk about the situation between Taraji and the being paid being underpaid. I mean, she's a great actress. So is Mr. Lightskin himself, Mr. Terrence Howard. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't have no pity. It's because we already knew how Hollywood treated black people. I think I did talk about this last week. Anyway, we know how it is. It's always been that way. Going back to Hattie McDaniel in Gone with the Wind, Josephine Baker in the 30s. You can go all the way back to the first picture. It's always been this way. But see, with our people, we always like to chase the bag. We see the money and we ready to go. Just like with hip hop. They say, who destroyed hip hop? Lil Wayne didn't destroy hip hop. Southern rappers didn't destroy hip hop. The money did, because when we take the money, we sell ourselves out. We're known for this. People gonna say, "Oh, you Uncle Tom." Uncle Tom wasn't a bad person. It was Sambo who was the sellout. But still, we always sell out for the bag. But then when we get treated wrong, it's like they cheated me. But see, you knew the deal. Hip hop, being an actor, actress, we did that to ourselves because we have the power to build our own, but we don't do it. All that black money in Hollywood. Spike Lee tried to tell people when he may do the right thing in School Days. He got shunned. He got ridiculed, everything else. But he tried to tell everyone, let's put our money together and build our own Hollywood, like we did back in the 70s with the blaxploitation era. But we decided the money's better over here. But now we're complaining about us not being paid equally. You sold yourself out. Put your millions together. There's a lot of people out there writing scripts. You can make some good music. You can good movies and make some good money. That's it.
That was it?
That is all. Fini.
Oh, that was good. Okay.
Thank you very much. I worked on that one.
So I'm not going to dive too much into that because we got so much to talk about today.
Right on.
But before we do, let me just give a disclaimer real quick.
Uh-oh.
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
So disclaimer. I mean, that's. I guess we need to reiterate some things.
Mm-hmm.
Casual Convo is open for everybody to express their views, no matter what it is. We don't expect for anybody to agree with everything that we say. We welcome you to
Mm-hmm.
disagree with
Yeah.
what we say. We welcome you to join to speak your mind on whether you agree, disagree, your personal thoughts, opinion, perspective, all of that. You're more than welcome. You can comment, we'll respond, we'll read it. Whatever it is, however you want to engage, please do that.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just explain one thing. And I say it all the time. Every conversation is probably not going to be for everybody. Some things are going to be sensitive. Some things are not going to be um, conveyed in a way that everybody's going to be acceptable, accepting, which is life. We're not here to be politically correct. I'm not going to censor myself. Bosco is not going to be censored. We're not going to censor our comments. We're not going to censor anything unless Big Boss Man behind the board say, all right, y'all taking it too far. But other than that, it's open for everyone to speak their mind, say what they got to say, do what they got to do. Just know if you get disrespectful, so will we. So when I say we welcome it, we welcome it. But please understand, um, it is what it is. It's 2024. We're adults. We are not coddling anyone. We're not trying to desensitize anything. Or we always talk about we're in a generation or a time where everybody's super sensitive and everybody gets butt hurt, get their feelings hurt, or whatever. And sometimes I'm guilty of trying to um, make everybody happy, so to speak. I have to check myself and do that when that's not what it's for. We want you guys to correct us when we wrong. We want y'all to let us know when we're saying something in the wrong way. Because let's be honest, Bosco and I had a conversation earlier.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when we communicate and we give our viewpoint, it's from personal experience,
Mm-hmm.
situations, viewpoints, and everything like that. It's a billion people in this freaking world. We're not gonna get it right. Everybody's not going to see things from the same lens.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what your lens is, and we welcome it, and that's just it. But we here to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
We here to grow. We here to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody got time. I'm not a type of person. I'm not gonna match nobody petty because I can be petty. We can be rude. But we not doing that. We too
Yeah.
grown.
You
We
know what?
too.
I want
We
to add to
adult.
that.
We can talk. We can talk about it, or we can let it go. But I'm not gonna take nothing for a left. I'm not gonna go there. That's not what we promote. That's not what we do. We don't intentionally try to hurt anybody. We don't intentionally try to do anything like that. So if anything that anybody takes the wrong way or feel offended by, I'm sorry, but not sorry.
You know what? And also let people know we just don't come on the show and just start talking. We talk offline and discuss things. Like I tell her, and she'll tell you. I say if I say something wrong out of line, she'll check me. I'll let it be known. You know, I still work for her basically. So it's not like I just say what I want to say and just offend who I want to offend. We talk things out before the show. We talk things out during the week leading up to the show. So nothing's like, okay, let's talk about this that day, and then we go on the air that evening. Everything is planned before the day even start. We talking, it starts like pretty much like almost the next day. It's like what you want to talk about. Let's do this. Da, da, da. We discuss all of that, and anything I say, it's never personal towards any one individual. If I say anything about women, I say things about men too. I go down the middle because I can be unbiased and objective about things. You may not like what I say, but I'm from the old school. I'm not from this new generation. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. My delivery may be wrong, and I apologize for my delivery, but I won't apologize for what I say because this is how I feel, whether it's to a male or to a female. If you have any issues and you want to talk to me, inbox me. We can have a conversation. That's all you got to do. That's it.
Are you that?
Hell no, I
You
ain't done.
definitely gonna work.
Also, let me talk about. No, go ahead, man.
All right. So So tonight we just want to have an open discussion. A couple of things happened, a couple of things transpired throughout the week, and some things that we felt like it would be good conversational starters. Some things that some of you guys came and said to me and was like, hey, this might, can you guys talk about this? And I get it. Everything ain't for everybody. Sometimes some people may feel like, okay, it's crossing the line. So which brings me to right after that, that's around the time Katt Williams interview came about. Everybody's talking about it. He pretty much broke the internet. So that interview now today is over 41 million views, which is crazy.
It was
It's
just
only
37 million early today.
right. And it's still growing numbers in like a week's time. But I think it's so much to unpack within that interview outside of him exposing the industry, exposing other comedians. I mean, just like it goes to show, no matter what your role, what your position, what your job or career is, no matter how much money you make, it's always BS in every job,
Oh, yeah.
any career, right? So the same way, no matter what, you could be a nurse, you could be whatever. It's always somebody trying to cutthroat you, trying to do something to get ahead, or all that. It's how you maneuver and go through that, which is a part of life. But some things that stood out to me was like when he was talking about being emancipated at a young age, and that's something that we really don't talk about. But there are quite a few young adults in the U.S. that emancipate themselves from their parents at a young age. And for him, what I did appreciate was he was tactful in how he addressed it, because he didn't what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't shame his family
Yeah.
or be negative. It was just like, that wasn't what I was on. I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to live by their rules. Da 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 da. What do you think about children becoming emancipated at a young age?
I mean, I don't think it's good because, you know, even in our adult age, we still make a lot of mistakes. You know, we could be 18, 19, 20, and we'll still fall on our faces. And when you're 13, 14, 15, you haven't seen nothing yet. You know, um, I don't know. In his situation, everyone's situation is different. You know, um, I don't like it, but I mean, I don't know a child's situation, but I don't think that child is ready to tackle the world though, at 13 or 14 or 15 or even 16. You know, but that's the world we live in. You know, I think the tide changed like in the late 90s when they stopped allowing us to spank our children, to where children be like, "Oh, my parents hit me," and you know, they want them getting the power from the parent. They can say anything, and you know, but like I said, with his situation, you know, he said what he said. I mean, you know,
I mean,
I don't know, man.
his reasoning, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of got it, but then I was like,
Yeah,
what does a parent have to do? Because I couldn't imagine like
right.
when my children were like 12, 13, coming to me saying, my pretty much, mom, I want a divorce, right?
I went out. Yeah, I went
Because
out.
it was
Yeah.
like he said there was an altercation. He didn't elaborate on that. So
Mm-hmm.
whereas though with his dad, and he still spoke highly of his dad, but pretty much it was whatever their religious beliefs and certain things
Yeah.
that were happening, he didn't agree with. So some things happened. So he said at that point I had to go because it was, how most kids, I ain't gonna sleep in here because da da da
Yeah.
da. And you could tell in his mindset of what he thought at that age, he was thinking like a 13-year-old, and then
Yeah.
like to be homeless. But what does that do to a parent? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what goes through how do you come to that decision to agree to that? Because I think it doesn't have to be like a mutual thing, or you have to agree to it.
As far as I know, you have to. I
Hold on,
think
real quick. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Karen touched on something. She said depends on the maturity level of a child.
That's what I was getting ready to
So
say. Yeah.
this is funny because I'm quite, if you're new, welcome. I see a couple of new names popped up or whatever. So if you're new, welcome. But I'm in school for psych, right? So one of the things that we did talk about was the maturity level and at what age should children be able to make certain decisions of their life,
Mhm.
whether it's healthcare, whether
Mhm.
it's well-being, anything like that.
Mhm.
So realistically, let's have a realistic conversation, because even in our discussion,
Mhm.
some people said that, yeah, the maturity level. But when you're that age and you see most kids, when it comes to certain critical thinking and effect
Mhm.
and making certain decisions that can be life changing, life threatening, or anything like that, and you got to read that fine print, how many children do you see actually read thoroughly and understand? Because let's just be realistic.
Mhm.
Even though, like what Kat said, he was reading books at like 5 and all of this,
Mhm.
you can read them,
Mhm.
but they didn't tap into the comprehension of it, because your mind is still developing. And when we start talking about the developing mind of
Mhm.
a child versus your thinking process at between 10 to 13, your thinking
Mhm.
process from 14 to, let's say, 18, and then
Mhm.
older, it changes.
Yep.
So how mature can you really be? Now it is proven statistically that,
Mhm.
yes, of course, girls may mature in certain areas
Mhm.
before
They do.
boys, but how how mature can you really be at that age to live on your own
I
and make
think.
life choices?
I think times when we came up. Well, I'll say I came up because I'm a little older than you are. You know, you're still in your 20s. But things are different. I think times when I came up, even when he came up, things were different because we did read and we were taught to read to comprehend. So I think back then it might have been different for him because we did a lot of reading. We was in the libraries all the time and sitting there 2-3 hours reading stuff and educating ourselves. To where today the kids not, they're on their phones. They're not really reading on survival. They just say, this is what I want to do. This is what I do. So I think the times are different. And you're right. Different ages, you mature differently. Females do mature differently. I think with that, to where y'all mature quicker than we do. I think with us, it's more of we're more about survival. We just go head, we go head first. Literally, we go head first into where y'all may think about things.
Mhm.
That's where the emotion with y'all come through, because y'all think about things, and it's like, I just think times are different because, like I said, back then we read. We always had books in our hands, and to where today it's different. You jump out in the street now, you know, people are not reading and trying to figure out, okay, what's my next move? It's like, let me get the money, let's get the bag. But like, okay, what's going to happen? What do I do to get this? Okay, once I got it, what am I going to do? To where back then I knew some cats who were homeless at 16, 17, but they were getting little jobs and they were really putting their money together.
Was it
To,
intentional?
what you mean?
Intentional, like when you said they were homeless, like, if, for instance, like with Kim,
They kind of like,
he used to
they
live
ran
on the
away.
street.
Some just ran away
I
because they didn't
think
want to go by the rules of the
Yeah, I think what
parents.
we
Yeah,
what we could also forget is like
mm,
upbringing, cultural
yeah,
background, upbringing, environment, and all of those things.
yeah.
So again, going back to when we look at things from a certain lens, it's from the lens of what we were taught, the morals that we were, because
Yeah.
life lessons start from infancy to up, right?
Hmm.
So we don't realize your teaching begins when you leave the womb. You're taught certain things, whether it's how to eat, when to sleep, when to do certain things.
Hmm.
Certain morals and things are just placed within you
Hmm.
and your beliefs, and it's up, as you go through life.
Hmm.
So I'm losing my train of thought. I think I'm nervous.
You straight? You straight?
So I think
You're making sense. So.
so to say that, I say that to say, because when we talk about maturity levels, like Karen was saying, she graduated early from high
Mhm.
school at like 15. So her comprehension level of fine print was very well. We got to understand, a lot of times, especially in this day and age, when you talk about the differences, and even when we were coming up, a lot of
Mhm.
our grandparents and parents couldn't read. You know, and even
True.
still today, there's a lot of people, and
Mm-hmm.
I encounter them daily in the field that I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
who really can't read, but are
Can't
homeless
read.
and have certain situations of their environment that contributed to their situation, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not that they chose to. So I think the difference is when a child can say, I want to be on my own, I want to do this, and da 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 da. How does that go? Like, for as employment, things like you get what I'm saying? Because if
Mm-hmm.
you're under a certain age, once you emancipate, you gotta fully care for yourself.
You know what? Like it's a girl, say around the corner. I met her through my granddaughter. Um, she considers me her grandfather. I think I met her at 9 when her and my granddaughter went to elementary school together. And I would see her from time to time. Then I saw her a few years ago. She was 14, I guess, 13 or 14. And
Mhm.
she started calling me Pop, like my granddaughter did. And I said, that's cool, call me Pop, because they were like this. And her mother didn't really didn't really care. I'll put it that way. Her father was locked up. So she kind of, grew on me like, and she would call me and text me and hit me on Facebook, whatever. Pop, can you take me here? Pop, take me. Da, da, da. And I would talk to her. She wanted to move out. I said, stay where you are.
Mhm.
She said, I'm tired. I said, look, you got a roof over your head. I said, it's rough out here. So she tried it going out. Came back home. Her mother didn't want to come back. She let her to come back. And I talked to her. She's 8. She just turned 18 last week. And I talked to her. I taught her how to make a reservation to catch a flight. I taught her
Mhm.
all of this stuff. So now she's been flying for like 2 years on her own. And now she's 18. I said, you see how it is out here? Because when she first had to do, she was real nervous. I said, life out here is not as easy as you think. Just because you see these other girls running around doing whatever, I said, look where they end up. Some end up pregnant. A couple of them died, 16, 17 years old. And I told her, I said, that's why I was trying to tell you, stay home. Stay home. She got a car, you know. She's trying to get her GED now, you know. And I think with today, and I notice a lot of kids today, and got to put this on the parents because it starts at home. You ask them to count change backwards, they can't even count change. Some can't even read a clock, an analog clock.
I read an article. Was it an article or video? It was one of them. It was an article or video. So what pretty much is said was the person was saying
Mm,
um that like today's generation is pretty much dumb. Let me explain. It wasn't saying dumb, and it was saying dumb in knowledge because everything is like handed to you. There's no
mhm,
research. There's no
mhm,
nothing to challenge your thinking and your research skills, your
mhm,
creativity. So pretty much saying like, okay, well, Google, everything is like right there. Like
mhm,
we had to do research. Like most children today, or young people today, and some adults
mhm.
could not navigate the library if
Nope.
they had to. So, and then you have some like when you say like we went outside and we played, we would build things from what we saw in our
Mhm,
environment. So today it's like right there you have everything on the computer to say this is where it goes, and you don't
mhm,
have to figure out anything. So if you take all of that away, what are your survival skills if you really want to be honest? Which
mhm.
brings me back to well, I mean, hey, TV, tell me why you say no. So, but it kind of made sense because when you look at how, when we talk about research and even being in school, it's like it's challenging, but then it's not because literally everything is like at your fingertips, and so
Yeah,
many things are just like right there. Um, oh, you can't hear my fan. Oh, right.
yeah, yeah. That's how
So,
that's how replying back to say that said that we can't hear it.
so, yeah, so I kind of agree to a degree. It's not to say that they're not saying the children are stupid, but they do lack.
There she is.
Hey, Karen,
She's
welcome.
in the building.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
so pretty much they were saying like like the children pretty much lack basic life skills
Yeah.
if needed be, and then you have a lot of parents who don't take the time to
Hmm.
put certain lessons
They don't.
into them, and then um I think I said it on here before. Like a lot of times when people are blessed to have the older generations of when certain things were like more mechanical instead of digital. Because if that digital fails, what do you do? And we see it everywhere. Everybody gets stuck. Like, what are we supposed to do now? And like, I can be at work, and I remember when I first started in my career, we was paper. I know what did. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have a backup plan. People like, you always, yes, because I need to know if some, or I'll say, I need to have a backup. I ain't talking about no folder in the computer system.
I'm still using paper.
Nothing. And it's not always that it has to be paper, but I need something to where I know where I need to pick up. But we totally rely on technology, and if that shit fails, you're screwed because nobody knows how to think outside of that and actually be creative.
Before we introduce our guests, buy your Hand Radio merch, y'all. Hoodies, hats, shirts, handradio.org/shop. Get your hoodies, good quality. Feel good too. Get your hat, get your shirt. I gave my shirt to my niece because she kept getting on my nerves. I was like, here you go. Here's the damn shirt. You know, but get your merch at handradio.org/shop. It comes
That's amazing. Lisa said when the internet, I'm gonna just go through something real quick.
Well, let me just do right quick. Let me just Karen right quick.
We actually do
because she in the building.
Why he always gotta go back and forth with me? Every time.
Well, this is Karen Hansley, y'all.
Let me get my flowers, Coco.
Exactly. I'm trying to
Welcome, Karen. I said, hey, Karen, welcome to the show. And you got a couple of hellos in the show.
And he thought that wasn't enough. So go and get some more.
I gotta put my mouth for tonight, so I gotta
go ahead and stroke it. Go ahead,
y'all. Miss K, she got the muscle rub. She got the muscle rub, and she got more than that. Y'all need to hit her up. She's on Facebook. Karen Hansley, HANSLEY. She's everywhere. Y'all better hit her up. I'm telling you. And I'm not just saying that to say that. I'm saying that because it's a fact. Look her up, y'all. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Go back and watch the video.
I got a video too. I gotta post a video too. Y'all check my wall, man. Big Boscoe Productions Facebook. I got a video coming up. Y'all see what she got. Holla at her, homies. Here we go. All right. Let's go. Okay, now it's on you, Coco. You can read these comments.
I just wanted to read a couple of them because there's some good things. Lisa said when the internet is down or something, she likes to read, which is great because some people just be like, oh, I'm bored. And especially when we're talking about youth, they just be like, book what? Because think about the books now are where? On your Kindle, online. Yep. Like some people don't know where to go. Barnes and Noble's what? She said, hey, Karen Hansley. And then she also said maturity level today isn't the same as when we were young. And she also said my niece decided to go out on her own at an early age. She just turned 18 and her life is going sideways now. She said she started. Oh, this is a good one. She said I started growing boobs and I started my period at 8. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that for YouTube. I started growing boobs and I started my menstrual at 8. I grew really fast mentally, also because of having 2 younger sisters and having to take care of them because my parents were always working. I get that. And then she said, it depends on your childhood if you had to grow up really fast. That was a good example of that. And I read that one when Karen said, before she graced us with her beauty, she said, I graduated high school at 15, majored in business so I could understand the fine print. Would you like to elaborate since we have you here?
I would. I was the youngest of 4 siblings, all female. And they were all out doing their thing, so I was more like an only child. The difference between my older sister and I is 10 years. The next is 9, and the other one is 8. So they were already on their way out when I came in, basically. And I can say that I matured really, really fast and became extremely self-reliant. Because by the time I came along, my parents were already tired. So another difference was they all went to public school in Baltimore County, but I went to Catholic school in Baltimore City. So with the paid education, I really did it for a reason of I got tired of hearing, do you know how much I pay for you to go to school?
Yeah.
And it got to the point I just really didn't want to hear that anymore. So by the time I got to the 8th grade, I skipped 9th and 10th, went straight to the 11th and graduated in 12th. I was still only 15. The state of Maryland, they don't allow you to do that until you're 16. So from May of 86 to November the 20th, 21st, as a matter of fact, is when I got my diploma. The day after my 16th birthday, they gave it to me. I had already earned it. And I was going to Community College of Baltimore at the time. And every week I had to be re-enrolled because the computer kicked me out because I wasn't 16 yet. But then I went directly into the workforce. By the time I was 17, I was working 3 jobs, had a car and an apartment. My mother never took her hand off of me, though. So it was a thing of my apartment was right in between where she lived and where she worked. She could actually walk to my apartment from her job. So she was there a lot, and she was guiding a lot still, because I didn't leave home on anything bad. It was amicable. It was, I think I can handle it. And she said, all right, well, let me see. And I was afforded all of the opportunities to see for myself. By the time I was 21, I was married. So, it wasn't a bad deal that I left. I didn't leave on a bad circumstance.
Right.
And I always had my parents' support, always.
Right.
So like I said, it's the maturity level of the child, because all of us aren't stricken by trauma. I didn't have no fallout with my mama and daddy before I left home. It was all like, okay, baby, you going it? You got it? Okay, let me buy you the furniture.
Yeah.
So that was the support that I got to when I left home. So my mother, I paid the security deposit and the first month's rent, and my parents bought all the furniture for the house.
I know that's right.
Word.
You were
So
blessed. So let's just say you were
yes,
blessed and you had a good
right.
support system. On the contrary, there's a flip side to that. That I think some of the people in the comments are talking about. You have some people that don't have that support system, and I think a lot of times those are the people who get the worst judgment and the worst treatment, because some people and some children are not taught certain values and certain morals or certain things like that. So they're just navigating through life blindly, learning as they go. And then when you have someone that comes from a supportive background, educated background, or people who gave a fuck, it's like, oh, you don't know, you should. And it's like, bitch, fuck you. You get what I'm saying? So and I think that's different from survival. And when you talk about logic and survival, everybody doesn't have logic. Some people just have survival, and we consider that street mentality. That's in that I'm in survival mode. So and then when they say, oh, you have street smarts and book smarts, so now you have the logical on top of I know how to. I wish a nigga would. You know what I
That's
mean?
why I'm dangerous today. That's what makes me dangerous.
Yeah.
That's what makes me the first to be reckoned with, because I have the duality of the streets and the books. You think you got one over on me? That was me getting one over on you, letting you think that.
That's how I felt. Yeah, same way.
So I want to change it up a little bit, because I know going back to what we talked about earlier, I think Karen and I had a conversation, and I know we talk about it, but I wanted to dive a little bit into it. So Karen is up here, so you can be like a neutral person. So I had down for safe spaces, and I wanted to, because we mentioned it a lot, and allowing people safe spaces. And me myself, I had some personal things happen where I felt like I didn't have it. You get what I mean? So I just wanted to go into safe space and get you guys' input on it. So safe spaces. So safe spaces is a place or environment in which a person or category of people can feel confident that they will not be exposed to discrimination, criticism, harassment, or any other emotional or physical harm. Right? So how do you think we create safe spaces? Like, just or what do you guys think about them? Are they needed?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think they're needed. Yeah, they're needed. You got to find the right one. Okay, go ahead, Karen.
there are levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are one that wears your heart on your sleeve
Mm-hmm.
and you put yourself out there, you may not be able to receive what what people are giving you as feedback for that. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not mature enough, I don't suggest that you put yourself all the way out there. There are ways to
Mm-hmm.
do it. You have feelers, so you may lead up to where you really want to be, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to receive what you're asking for. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to be heard and you just want to be heard, say that.
Yeah.
I really just want you to listen. I would
Mm-hmm.
appreciate if you didn't respond today,
Mm-hmm.
So people need to know where to meet you if they're going to meet you where you are.
Yeah, and I think
So
okay.
communi-
Hey.
yeah, communication of that is one thing, and also understanding verbiage and diction.
Mm-hmm.
If you break up with somebody, you can say, "Oh no, I'm just sad." You really might not be sad, but you're so used to using it, and that so you don't adequately describe the way that you are really feeling. So actually, you might feel humiliated if the person played you. So that's the better term to use. Use the correct term. Get
Yeah.
your vocabulary up, get those definitions so that when you do speak with some people about what you're going through and they do give you a feedback, they give you the proper feedback because everything doesn't always apply to everyone.
True.
Yep. That was basically what I was getting ready to say at the end. you gotta have well, you know the word I use vernacular. It's the New York in me. But yeah, you got
Vernacular.
the vernacular. Yeah, you gotta have the right words because because you don't want to say something to somebody you mean one thing, but because you didn't know how to express it that way, you might say the wrong thing. It's just like your delivery.
I also look at safe spaces. I agree with all of that. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
on a communicative level.
Yeah.
On an emotional level, even when we talk about create safe spaces for men, women, or whatever, to me a safe space is allowing people to have personable and human moments of
Mm-hmm.
expression, emotion. A lot of times when someone expresses themselves, like let's just say Boscoe came to me and he was feeling, so he could have been in a moment, something was going on with him and he was just expressing himself. And then I go, well, don't feel like that. You should not feel like that. Well, that's not right. You know that's wrong.
Yeah.
In that moment, no, let that person go through and feel. To me, that's the safe space of allowing a person to be human and not robotic. um and I think a lot of times, because we wouldn't react a certain way in a certain thing, or we wouldn't have a certain reaction to a certain situation, we expect for the next person to handle it the same way and not be like that. So if they just going to, okay, maybe they felt comfortable or trusting in you to allow that emotion to come out, whereas though they may not have done it in a
Yeah.
different space. And I think people overlook the trusting factor of, I'm trusting you to have a vulnerable moment and to allow me to be vulnerable. But when you take that from me, you put me back in the shell and in a box to make
Mm-hmm.
me feel like shit. And to me, that's not a safe space. And people are like, oh, you can talk to me all the time. You can do this all the time. I'm always here for you. I care. You like, thinking you just took my whole moment of where I was trying to be expressive and trusting with vulnerability, and then people wonder why you don't trust, or to say no, I don't feel safe with you because I
Mm-hmm.
can't even have a human moment. Okay, let
Yeah.
me go through that. But or get to know the person on a level like, okay, you did that, so now what's, if you come now, what's really going on? Like, you get what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you gotta let people just get that out. So like, if you come to me and I give you that, and then I might just need the same thing in return. You, what the fuck? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna trust you no more with that.
Yeah.
And so I
But
think we look at certain things, and I think sometimes some things are not just logical. It could be emotional, and I think in our communities we don't allow people to express emotion.
with me, if I'm with somebody, like if someone comes to me like face to face and they have the issue, I like to use humor, and I've used humor to make people feel. I mean, I listen to them, da 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 da, and I use some humor to cheer, try to at least cheer them up, and it usually works. Or I'm like, yo, let's go get something to eat.
I like some wings. All you gotta do is something.
That's what I do. I mean, if
I
someone
could be there, buffalo wings while
I mean, if someone hit me up and like, yo, man, blah blah blah, I'm like, yo, where you at? And I'm like, yo, I'll be there, and let's go get something to eat. And that's how I always do. We sit down and we chopping it up, Next thing you know, we just like laughing and joking, and whatever was going on with the person, But I mean, but I do that just so they can actually come, like, okay, like say we go to Wild Wings, I got it, what you want, blah 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 blah. That takes that load, let them eat, and we can sit there and chop it up. What's going on with you, homie? Blah 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 blah. As we talking, everything settles down. I'm like, yo, just holler back if you need to holler. Sometimes you just gotta listen to people.
That's a safe space.
Yeah, and see, that's what
Buffalo
I do.
Wild Wings is a safe space.
Yeah.
Anything with some wings, some like honey old day, some buffalo, anything with a little some jerk wings,
Look,
y'all can keep the lemon pepper. I'm not a
Buffalo Wild Wings. Yep, and it's like 10 minutes from my front door. Like, yo, you want to meet me over there? I'll come get you either way. But I'll meet you. I bet.
Yeah, and then sometimes I think another way we don't understand sometimes presence. Sometimes it's not even what you say or what you do. It may not even be an embrace, just presence. Yeah. Just to let know that they're not alone or like you're there. And I think some people don't understand that. Just to add a little other piece into not just safe spaces, but I want to dabble because when I said that, it made me think of something. So even with presence or just not feeling alone. So if you have people who are, and I'm quite sure you guys can relate to this, always there, right? For so many other people. And then people just so used to dumping on you, and dump. Like you just like the garbage can for dumping, right?
The landfill.
So when you release all of that, and then at no point do somebody you ever see you realize if I just call you, like I call Karen, I'm like, girl, guess what happened today because da 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 da, right? Then I call you the next day. Why something da 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 da? Oh my God, why da 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 da? And then this just goes on trickle and trickle. Then one day you might be going through something, and I'm still, girl, why? You won't believe what just happened to me. You won't believe what just happened to me. Eventually, you start to be like, damn, you never even said, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
No, Chanel, that's not me. I'm going to check you on that.
No, I'm
saying everything, but I'm saying this is where it comes into being able to communicate. This is where I'm going to say, well, you know what? Thank you for asking about my day. I may not, cuss you out or nothing like that because I plan on retaining your friendship and plan on you having resolve with what I have going on. So I'm probably going to like I said, ease into it so I can see where your head is and say, well, thanks for asking about my day, girl. Since we're easy and you were able to tell me, I should be able to tell you back. And so in part and parcel, I'm creating the narrative to, okay, this is a give and take relationship. You're going to have to take some because I got to give you this right now and get it off my chest. Then we can go back to what you was talking about. I don't have a problem with that. We can bounce off each other. But if I really need to get it off and you're still willing to listen after that, in which I don't talk to people that aren't like that. So I pick and choose. So I would pick you. And when people are going through things that you don't know anything about, I think that sometime in the summer, I reached out to you just to check on you because of what somebody else is going through. Because I've been that person and nobody checked on me. So
Yeah.
I made a point to check on you, Coco, just out of the clear blue. I said, you know what? Let me see how she doing with this shit.
Hey,
And my heart, it was placed on my heart to do that, so I did. And I mean, and since then is when you know, I learned about the podcast and everything, because I'm late. You've been on here for years, and I'm just coming in about a good 8 months ago. You know what I mean? But as soon as I find out something, you know, I want in. I want to support you on this. And when you started to invite me in, then I really felt like I was something. You know what I mean? I was like, see, this is what it was really all about when the foundation was laid in the early 2000s. The foundation was laid, and it still rides today.
Yeah.
you know what? You know how?
And that's just how it's going to be.
Welcome Lamont to the program. The L train, the troublemaker. that's my dude. That's my boy right there. Lamont's my man. That's my man's right there.
No, not that country. Before you say that,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with all of that. But I think sometimes, for me, that creates me to fall back and not even answer my phone or respond, because if I know it's just because sometimes there's no space to be like, thank you for checking. Because it could be a moment where where I need to dump. But if you never ask or say, it could just be a realizing, damn, you never even said, even on a good day, what's up? How you feeling? You know what I mean? Just, that's just common how you start the conversation off. But when it's always a run on, so sometimes I'm a person, I know when I need to disengage for me. Because it's like, you know how you have sometimes, and you always get I don't know how to be there for you, and that's because people are so used to you, to pouring into you and dumping on you, and used to you being that nurturing and that caring and that person to help them figure their shit out. They don't even be knowing what you're going through, and some people don't even really, honestly, I've come to realize some people really just don't care, because that's the benefit.
You know what?
I mean? Then it comes a point where you have to choose for yourself. Like, this is not for me. So now I need to disengage and remove myself from that.
Yeah, because I know I've been in that situation where I listen to people and listen like, okay, yeah. And then when I try to say something, they on some other shit. And the way I handle it, and I know it's kind of like rude the way I like. If I've been like the landfill for everyone, and I hit somebody up, and they act like they don't want to talk, I'm like, this is what I say, nigga, you ain't shit, and I hang up the phone. That's what I say, nigga, you ain't shit.
You do. We know you do.
That's what I tell them. They'll call me back. I'm not gonna say names, because I said I'm not gonna name drop on people no more. But they'll be like, yo, man, why you saying, man, I called you up, man. I'm here for you every day of the week, 7 days a week, 365, 366. And I'm hitting you up, and the first thing you sitting there telling me about some other shit. Oh man, my bad. Nah, you ain't shit. Bye. Just like that. And see, everyone around here knows that's how I am. I'm who I am. I'm not gonna sit there in front of me. I'm like, the way you see me.
On you.
Yeah, I'm not
if you got a name,
I know you've been there for me. You were there for me when I needed you that one night when I was driving home. You was there for me, because I was.
One thing I tell everybody, my phone always on. I mean, I could be in a session with a client. Hold 1 second. You good? It don't take. It's not hard to be a friend. People make friendships and relationships hard.
Yeah, the one dude I want to shout out is my man Herman Best Believe Bright. He's like my little brother. When my wife passed away, and I was going through we weren't together, but we were still chopping it up, blah 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 blah. And when she passed away, I was, well, you know how it is, Karen. You lost somebody.
You was devastated.
I was
devastated. Shoot, I dropped the phone. That stuff is devastating.
People don't realize how hard it is. And see, you know how I found out? I was on social media, on Facebook, and her sister said something, and I had got my number changed because I hadn't talked to her sister in years. We were cool, but we just never talked like that. And I said something slick. I was like, tell her bum ass to call me, and she said she just passed away. And I was like, what? He said, they just found her body. And I was like, and it was like, bam. Just like that. It's like the world just stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It
oh,
does.
shit.
It
And
definitely.
for a while, I couldn't get through, but my man Herman, he hit me up. He had some shows to do. He said, yo, come into the shows, man. So he come pick me up. And, you know, he DJing. I go to the show. And I got, like I always said, me and her, we never sent a text in our life. We always wrote each other hand. We never text each other ever. We always wrote letters out by hand. And I still got the diary because I used to write letters from it. And I would always write. And he would sit there with me. And he said, what are you saying? And I would tell him, this is what I'm saying. Da, 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 da. But the whole time, for a whole year, this dude was basically let me ride on his back until I was like, just like that. That's why I shout out to him. He's like my little brother. I mean, he, no matter what, he was there, took me to his mother's house in 4 hours away. They set me up in a nice little room, the whole lick. It was like, they just like, look, he said, I'm gonna get you straight, man. Yeah. And see, to this day, how long was it, 4 years ago? Still, that's my man's. And I knew him for years, but that right there is when me and him was locked like that. I like, that's my man's right there. And there's not enough people like that. Because when you do call people, some are just listening just to listen, but they don't really care. You know, some just don't want to hear it. They say, yeah, whatever, man, but let's just do this. Like, dude, y'all don't realize shit ain't that easy.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think she on here, but I know one person I do appreciate, if it was a Matrix. She does a daily check-in.
Yeah,
And
I
I don't even think she understands the impact that has. Like,
she does.
She used to with me until last week. But you still cool, Matrix. If you're watching the show, you still cool.
Moving right along.
No, let me send a shout out to her. Matrix, you still cool, man. I know you watching the show. You just ain't comment, but you know. She watching it. You still fam, yo. So don't feel like you're not. You still
that's fam. Twin. She did nothing.
Yeah, she's Gemini.
But she does know the impact that she has, because
I
tell her all the time.
She does. That's why she need to comment. Stop lurking.
Yeah, I know I always gotta get a little math going before, because second half mainly gonna be Boscoe starting shit. So
I ain't starting no shit yet.
I know, but after the break you will. So before we go to the break, let's just start the whole conversation, because I got something to lead into this. So I wanted to put something, because we always talk about who right, who wrong, and Bosco always want to go back and forth. Yeah, because Bosco always want to go back and forth with me every week about who. Yeah, no, because what you don't understand
that be you.
Now my delivery is different.
That be you.
No, and then you be like, well, I mean, but okay, so, but word is born. real talk. Dead ass. I'm like, bruh, what? You want to disagree with me?
Nope. Damn, my room got dark.
And the whole time he's saying the same thing, and I'm like, Bosco. And he be like, no, because y'all liberals.
No, man, don't even try. Shout out to Chris Dunn in the building. Chris Dixon in the building. No, let me straighten that out. No, this is what I be saying. I be saying these new wave people. Oh, well, see, I'm pointing at your screen. If I use this hand, I'm pointing that way, because I got the mirror effect going right now.
You women's lib bitches. That's right.
No, let me get that straight. This is what I do. You got the OG liberal, OG feminists who I'm down with, and you got these new wave ones who don't like men, who wish men would get off the planet, and they be supporting all this nonsense. Them are the ones I be talking about.
And this is where you get in trouble, right here. This is how it starts.
I'm Gen X. I'm 59.
Now he
I'm
always trying to know
old.
his age, like he the
I ain't
elderly and the
changing.
sick and the shut in, to think it's going to lessen the blow. No,
I'm
no,
over half a century old too, baby.
That's
right.
And I came up in that same era because you're the same age as that sister that's right above me. And I do know that things are different now. I mean, yeah, now than they were then.
I'm the youth.
They were definitely different. So where I tend to stay is what I encounter. Because ain't no lie there, ain't no generalization there. Hey,
right.
look here, the men that I encountered, they've been acting an ass. Or they've been doing blah 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 blah. Huh?
Did you know he called me old?
So,
No. I called myself old. I called myself old.
I was
Low key and high key. Low key and high key, you still a baby to me, Chanel.
Yeah, you still 25.
Coco, you still a baby to me all the way around the board. To me.
Yep.
All right, we good. Then we good.
Yeah.
I agree.
You ain't too. Y'all my baby babies. I don't play about y'all. Mia, you know what I mean? Y'all all running around the same age. Y'all still babies to me.
Maybe I got a son almost your age.
We gotta get
what I do.
So let me start my stuff because we're gonna take this 5 minutes for the ruffle the feathers and then come back. So we always talk about this because, like I told you, Boscoe like to go back and forth with me all the time about who right, who wrong.
No, I don't. It be the peanut gallery. It don't be me.
So I wanted to discuss why right or wrong is subjective. Meaning
white or wrong or right or wrong.
Right. No, we're not doing that today. Right or wrong. So why right or wrong is subjective. So we're gonna go with the meaning, then we're gonna let y'all elaborate. The belief that moral principles and values are dependent on individual opinions, personal beliefs, cultural norms, and societal context. So my question is, because we need to discuss this for Boscoe. We can start it and then we can continue coming back. How do we agree to disagree with you, sir?
I'll put it this way. I'm gonna tell you. A fact cannot be disputed.
What makes it fact? Because you said it?
Nope. Because I bring my stuff to the table.
So if I
got independent sources, more than one, I would go to at least 5 independent sources.
Okay.
And most things are in general. You always got the exception to the rule, but the exception doesn't make the rule. That's why. So
if I debunk your facts with some other factual statements that can say that that's an opinion.
Okay.
Because you also got to think, don't go to Wikipedia now because you know that can be adjusted.
I don't mess with Wikipedia.
Okay. So
nope, I don't mess with Wikipedia.
So like we said, so
if you could debunk my fact, okay, but the problem is I have yet to have a fact to be debunked. Not even on Facebook.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you a starting point.
Okay.
Debunk my fact about divorce.
What was
I got riled up last week.
What was it?
Oh, you want me to repeat it?
You want to repeat it? You always after we come back from the break and we can have an open discussion about it?
I can say it now. We can talk
Dude,
about
we talking about right or wrong. We got to debunk him. He get ready to start talking about divorce and why he's right or wrong.
This is what I said last week.
Right.
This is what I said last month.
Right.
This is what I said last year.
Right. What you had said?
Women initiate 80% of divorces. No.
So when I start saying men's,
well, you know me. If you prove about men, I'm not going to disagree with you.
No, you'd be like, no. Say some.
I don't know who that might be Rich behind the boards that said that. But whenever you prove a fact about men, I say you're right. Because I go in on men too.
No, you'd be like, you're right. Some, not all. Because
I say some because you can't categorize all men like you can't categorize all women. That's why I say some. But the peanut gallery like to say what? Most men. Like you said, there's billions of people in this world. You can't say most men. Especially if you haven't even been outside your own state. You can't say most men. Like I can't say most women. because most women I've encountered are good women. That's why I always say some. And what other words do I use after some?
You did not just
It's
say
a small
some.
no,
You
but
was like
what
women.
other phrase do I use besides some? I say the
You-
small minority is always the loudest. I say the small minority is always the loudest. I always say that. The small minority is always the loudest. The
I gotta go
problem
back and
is
rewind
the good women.
footage because I was gonna be saying
I
that.
do say that. I find it for you.
You like,
I say that because
this
this is what else I said. I said the problem is the good women are around the bad ones, so they don't say. It's just like the good cop, bad cop. There
I've
are
heard them
good
say
cops
that.
in this world. There are good cops in this world. The problem is
that was in 2023 because
the problem is no. Check
right.
it out. The problem is we gotta go to break. The problem is the bad cops do things, but the good cops don't stop them. It's the same situation. It's just like with the men. You got a lot of men that bash women, blah, 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 and you got a lot of men who are good men who don't say nothing.
But can you show me where that phone was at?
But what was that? What?
The good day.
Oh, that part. Oh, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to your phone.
No.
We say that.
Gonna discuss this divorce thing. Karen, you gonna say because I wanna hear this because I don't think I saw that.
Okay.
Okay.
I ain't going nowhere.
We going to the break, y'all. We will be back in 5 minutes. Come back. No, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And it's about to get hot.
See ya.
Check it out. We'll be back, y'all.